Welcome to Effective Practices for Student Engagement. I'm excited to have you with us today. My name is Denise Hunt, and I am an instructional coach with the New Teacher Support Program, and our regional office is at UNC Pembroke. So just some virtual norms. Just be actively present, mute your microphones again. I know you're already tired of hearing that phrase. Participate in any of the virtual activities. Be vulnerable and use the chat feature to offer comments. And I think someone may have joined us. If you will, please mute yourself. Thank you. And these are just our norms that we have through just for our entire statewide team. I'm not going to read these to you. If you'll just glance through those. And hopefully everyone can see my screen. If you can't, please let me know. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our two folks that will be presenting today. So we have Sonia Carroll, who's a history teacher with Scotland County Schools, and we have Zena Walker, or affectionately known as Miss Z, who is a teacher at the Innovative School District. She teaches third grade. One thing about these wonderful ladies is they are both alumni of our New Teacher Support Program. They are both beginning Teachers of the Year. This is their second year in the classroom, and they are phenomenal at what they do. So we have the privilege of serving these wonderful ladies and also acknowledging their leadership and their just what they do in their classrooms, which is amazing. So just I want you to read this quote just for a second. I'll leave that up there. Think about the last lesson you taught and ask yourself, were your students bored? And if they're bored, were you really making an impact? Hold on to that thought as we take you on this roller coaster ride that's about to happen. So I'm going to turn over now to Ms. Carroll, and she's going to take you through her life as a teacher.
Good morning. First of all, let me say welcome and congratulations on your decision to join in the world of education. That's truly exciting, and just to be able to make a difference is huge. I truly believe that engagement is about having students to participate, and that is the key to student success, getting them involved in the learning process. Again, just attracting and involving students is extremely important. Students must invest themselves in that learning process in order to truly benefit. Also, increasing participation in the classroom is key when you have students that come together and they're able to work together to learn the content that you're providing. So I think that's just extremely important. I use many different activities in the engagement process, but just making sure that students are participating, collaborating, and communicating is extremely important. So like I said just a minute ago, I use many activities within the classroom. Writing prompts, debates, reenactments, and things like that. However, I found that the most powerful activities within my classroom, the three most powerful activities are simulations, scavenger hunts, and escape rooms. I believe that they are extremely powerful in student success and academic growth in my classroom because of the amount of collaboration and communication that is involved in all three of those activities. So again, participation is extremely huge, getting them involved. Here are a couple of pictures of students that are actively engaged in simulations. You'll see a group of students that are collaborating. They're on a scavenger hunt in the hallways. And I also think one of the things that's most important about having students engaged and involved is that it does get them up and moving and the blood flowing and things like that. But you are able to see students that may linger at a particular slide or may linger at a particular card that you need to go over and actually engage with them. So you're able to do it in a way that it's not embarrassing to them. It also helps those students that may not be as outgoing as others. They will, because it's not a lecture style, they may come to you individually while others are out and about or in their groups, or they may come to you with their partner. And so that's important. You're able to provide individualized or little partner group um, assistance, if you will. So, like I said, simulations, scavenger hunts, and escape rooms tend to be extremely powerful and have provided the most academic growth within my classrooms. I think it's the think, pair, share. There are times when I will allow students to pick their own groups. I may pick groups or partners for them, but that does a lot of things. That tells me who can and cannot work together, who should and should not work together. So it gives you, as you're going through this process, you will learn a lot about your students, how they work together, who they can and cannot work with, and things like that. But one of the things about all three of these activities is that it encourages movement and participation. They have to actively invest themselves in the learning process. They have to be in the process physically and mentally. So all of this to me helps with their retention, them being able to absorb and hold the information. They will make those small connections between an activity that they did and retain that information a lot longer. I think it also empowers students to take control of their learning, the learning experience. Again, those with self-esteem issues or they may not be as self-motivated as others, you tend to see step up when they are in an environment that has them moving and about. They really enjoy having something different within the classroom. They, opposed to lecture style all of the time. And so I think it really helps. They never know what they're going to get. When they come into the class, they never know what that day is going to look like. So I think it also adds that element of surprise, adds some excitement for them as well. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about the some examples. I have content, simulation, scavenger hunt, and escape rooms for a ton of content. However, I just want to share a few examples of, just some of the things that we go through in American One. So as we journey through the 13 colonies, it is a journal-led activity. It's a PowerPoint presentation. They are usually in small groups of about 3 or 4. There are sound effects and reflect throughout the presentation. And what this looks like in the classroom is they are grouped, but they are journeying through these colonies. So, they know that while they are going through the New England colonies, well, the weather's a little bit cold, frigid winters. So they've got to hunt down woolly mammoth. All of those sound effects are there. They have moments to stop and discuss, okay, how do we capture? What tools are we going to use? What do we need to do about eating? So, they're traveling through the valleys and in the mountains, and they see these things on the screen as well as hear these sound effects built in. There's some videos built into the presentation, especially as they are traveling through. They are able to participate in a religious ceremony and things like that. So they are really engaged in what these early settlers went through during that time period. For scavenger hunts, again, that's one that students tend to really enjoy because it gets them out of the classroom into the hallways, you know, onto the balcony areas. So that this particular activity, the Salem witch trial, becomes this. So they are given a detective journal. This is nothing more than some paper folded in half to make a book. It's printed information on it, like clue one, clue two. And so they have with lines for them to jot down information as they're going through their hunt. So they have 30 items that they have to find with this particular hunt, and they will travel through and find them. They're in no such order, you know, that they're hunting for them. Once, and it usually takes, this is a 2-day event, it usually takes about it's about an hour for them to go through and find all of the clues. Ultimately, with all of these activities, it leads to some sort of writing or literacy piece. And so they go through the hunt, they gather their information. Then once they collect that information, they come back to the classroom with their partner. They're discussing not important, you know, how do they decide that? And then ultimately it ends with them writing a 1-page report to Rebecca Nurse's family about what happened during this time and what happened with her. Students really like that because they are you know, of course, racing time. They got to get it done within, you know, 45 minutes to an hour to get back to do that second piece. And then ultimately leads to another piece the second day. The escape room, again, I've done these digital as well as physically made with cardstock and lamination escape room materials. So students love this because it allows them to compete. And I find that most of my students have been extremely competitive. So they're competing within their groups to find this information. One of the things that I like about the escape room is it is a good review activity, but it also requires higher order thinking skills. So they're having to reason through the clues and the information that they have to ultimately solve the clue before they can go on to the next. Most of the escape rooms are anywhere between 3 to 6 clues or puzzles they have to solve. Again, I always end with some sort of exit ticket, whether that is a tweet out the door where I give them a little card and they can only use 140 characters to kind of summarize, you know, what they learned that day. You know, I also have this little exit ticket called Snap It, where they're kind of Snapchatting about, you know, what they've done. And then also I will do something, I will give them one, particularly around the Bill of Rights and things like that, the Constitution that I call Picture, and it's like an Instagram type summary where they will use just words, letters, and they will draw symbols and things like that to kind of summarize. I'm supposed to be able to piece all of that together to see what they're saying. But finally, let me just say, all three of these activities have been these models have been extremely powerful in my classroom. Students really get involved. I think it's the amount of collaborating and communicating that really gets them going, and they're able to retain more. And ultimately, that's what you want. You're wanting them to be able to truly learn that material and retain it.
Thank you so much, Miss Carol. I would like to draw your attention to the bottom of the screen where Miss Carol she put some credits down. She uses Teachers Pay Teachers, and she also uses her textbooks, and she curates using these pieces and finds activities that she knows will really spark her students. I've been on this journey with her since year one, and I will say that she has had a lot of trial and errors. There's some things that she's found that doesn't work with her students, and while others, do, she's very great at keeping up with data and really, thinking through which of these examples or which of these student engagement activities work best. It's so funny when I walk up on the hallway where she teaches at, I can always tell what she's doing because her students are out in the hallway taking notes, and they're going from station to station. Her students move a lot, but Miss Carroll is able to do this because she knows and understands her students. If you think back to our keynote speaker, Julie Pittman stressed relationships so much. And really, you cannot design student engagement activities unless you understand your students, which is a perfect segue into Ms. Walker's presentation, where she talks about leading in the classroom equals leading with love.
Thank
Ms.
you
Walker?
very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate UNCP Brave Coaches giving young teachers, new teachers, a platform to speak and to share. And thank you so much. So when Jamie called me and asked me to do leading in the classroom, I immediately thought of leading with love. That's how it should be titled, not leading in the classroom. So yeah, that's my go-to, leading with love. First of all, just for all you beginning teachers, I just want to say, be yourself. If we're authentic, our children know. Our children know when we walk in that classroom if we're trying to be someone else or not. I have so much energy, it's insane. I was like the poster child for hyperactivity, okay? And so I'm very extra, and I found myself in my lifetime being apologetic for who I actually was. But as a teacher, I've learned that being extra is okay. It's all right to be extra. And so I get along very well with a lot of my hyper children because I'm hyper. So teachers, be authentic. I have to say that I had this Google slide made before Miss Julie Pittman came on. I promise I didn't just copy what she was saying, but relationships matter. Dr. Brad Johnson, he is a motivational speaker and an author, and he wrote what I'd been thinking for years. So I love the way that he said the way I feel. So I'm just going to read it because I love hearing it. Relationship before rigor, grace before grades, patience before programs, and love before lessons. Wow, he just summed it up. Love it. So relationship is definitely the most important thing that I have to do. I have to gain their love. I have to let them know that that I love them. So for my third graders, the way that I do it for them is I ask for pictures. A lot of them don't write very well or maybe can't express themselves in writing yet. So I ask for pictures. We can see here in this one, the little girl in the middle is pink. Okay. You can see that she has two brothers because they're in blue. She has a mother and she does have a father. Now, if you look at the father figure, he's the largest individual on her picture. That means that her father is the most important in her life psychologically. So you can learn a lot from asking your children to either draw a picture of their family or to write a story. And you're going to be able to see the family setting. You're going to be able to see that they're happy. Now, this is a happy family because everyone has a smile. I think maybe the baby of the family is kind of grouchy because like he's got a half a smile. So you can learn a lot. Get to know them. And more importantly, let them know you. I'm a real person. I have feelings. I have 6 children. They get to know you as a person. That's building a relationship. A relationship is not just one way. It goes both ways. Okay, so I'll just share some of the things that worked for me. It's not necessarily going to work for you, but this is what works for me. I love active learning. I don't know why I have a chair in my room. It's there for like looks or something. I never sit in it. So I love active learning. I love making it personal. And that goes back to the relationship piece, because when you make it personal, All of a sudden, there's a sentence up there with Brandy's name in it, and she's more invested because she has ownership in that sentence because it's her name. Okay. And so the kids never know when I'm going to throw up their name, or maybe one of my kids' names, or maybe my kitty cat's name. And then student-centered teaching. Teach what they want to learn. Yes, we have a North Carolina standard. I get that. But listen to them and learn what they are interested in, and they'll learn better. Okay, we're going to show a short video. These were my kiddos up and about doing some active learning about life.
So hold on. Let me see if I can. So can you hear? Can y'all hear and see?
I can hear.
What are you looking at?
The dot.
Can you see through it?
Yep.
Well, what about foil? Would you be able to see through foil?
No.
Well, are you sure?
Yeah.
Let me see. Can you show me?
It can go through my hair a little bit.
Thank you, George Washington. Oh, here we have the foil. Okay.
It makes a shadow.
Well, I see something. What is that?
Shadow.
Oh, awesome.
So you can see that active learning was really, really fun. The George Washington guy, the thing that he had on his head was actually the opaque thing that he could kind of see. But what he saw was it looked like hair from the old-fashioned movies. And so that's what he went with. And you can't fuss him out for doing that. He was being creative. Let your kiddos be creative. It's okay. All right. So student-centered learning is just listening to what they're excited about, flow with their questions, and make their learning so personal, so very personal. The top two pictures in this segment are some of my lower readers at the beginning of the year. Not only were they lower readers, they really didn't care about reading. So about Christmas time, what I asked them to do, I said, come here in a private session. I said, I've chosen you to go and read to the kindergartners. Oh my gosh, all of a sudden they had to practice. All of a sudden their mommies knew. All of a sudden they're on Facebook. It was so exciting. All of a sudden they became very, very interested. I put microphones on them. When it was their turn, I sent a photographer with them, which was another student, and I said, go get them. These guys scored so high in maps in their reading. In their reading scores. I'm going to do it like for everyone next year. It was amazing results, but I made it personal for them, and you can do that too. Just let it be fun. Learning is fun. Here's some more pictures. Oh, we learned about light, and I just let them catch a rainbow. The first little girl, you can barely see, but in her hand, she has a rainbow in her hand. That's right. We learned all about prisms. We went outside. We just enjoyed the outside. It was amazing. Their level of engagement just increases. Sure, you have to do classroom management rules, but they get that. They get it. So guys, it's okay to be extra. It's okay to jump up and down. It's okay to jump on top of a desk as long as it doesn't fall over and stuff like that. But it's okay to be extra when you teach. One of my favorite resources is a book called Total Participation Techniques. It gives you ways to engage the students in active learning. It increases their knowledge and understanding, but most importantly, it allows for your children to have a higher order of thinking, okay? They're also in groups, so they're not embarrassed, like I'm not keeping up little Johnny, and oh, Taquisha, she's so smarter than me. They're not freaking out over that. They're all separated. They're doing their thing. So I have an extra copy that I'm going to give away. All right, this is going to be one of the door prizes. So tweet, 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 and you can have your copy. Yes, Then COVID happened. Guys, this changed our lives. I don't think I ever cried so much my entire life. That first week, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to hug my babies. And I know that was hard for most of us, and it was hard for them too. So changed our lives, and lots of things happened, like we had to become experts in Google Classroom overnight. I never even heard of it, and yet I had to be an expert. And then I had to deal with Fortnite. Yes, I had to get their attention because that first week in Google Classroom, they're like, yeah, Ms. Walker, we're not, yeah, I'm not going on that thing. I'm going to play Fortnite. Thanks for the device. So I had to come up with something that would grasp their attention. Yep, Wacky Walker videos. I began to make some crazy videos because that's who I am, and I'm extra, and I'm crazy in the classroom anyway. And I had to do something fast. So within the second week, I made these kind of videos, and guys, it worked. So anyway, we're going to watch this video. This was one of my mini characters that I came up with, Miss Gizzy Boo.
Oh, hey, kids, and welcome back from spring break. That's right, Miss Gizzyville. I'm here to help you today. That's right, Miss Walker, she asked me to do a dictionary drive with you. I had no idea what it is. Oh, you do? You know what this is. Okay, we're just going to go on then, all right? So she gave me a word. She knew that I didn't know this word, but she gave it to me, okay? And it is, let me break it up. Yeah. I'm smart. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold on there, cameraman. I'm doing it right. There. I know what I'm doing. Style the orchid. Style the orchid. Huh? The gum? Again? Are you serious? I just found my gum again. I'm tired of this. Whatever. Oh my gosh! Don't move! You moved! You moved! Look, Mr. Cameraman, the gum is in your hair. Hold on. I can help you. Just hold still. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, so sorry. No gum. No gum. You might want to go see the barber today. Yeah, today is good. Ooh. Okay. So style the audit. That doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. Why did she give me a word that doesn't make sense? Oh, I was separating it all wrong. It sounded wrong. It sounded crazy. I can't go there. Okay, so we're going to try it again. Stout. Oh, I know what this is. Stout-hearted. That's the word, stout-hearted. I know why she gave me that word for you now. It means courageous. It means brave. And it means determined. So as you read your book today and you're getting back on class and you're not sitting around eating a Pop-Tart and Cheez-Its and Takis and eating Twinkies and with the remote control. Be determined. Read a book. Bye for now, kids.
Okay, so it may be a little cheesy, but that's all right. My kids loved it. We rocked out our Google Classroom. I had 38 ELA students and I had 55 people join my class. Who were the other people? Parents, friends, other people. It was just kind of crazy, but we rocked it out and we got it done. We had 100% participation. Every one of our students were on, and it was just glorious. So eat that Fortnite. Whoop, whoop. So anyway, the conclusion is just be yourself. Love your kiddos, get to know them, and let them know you. That's so important that they know you. Allow for active learning. Make it so personal. Know their dogs' names. Know their auntie. Know their grandma. That's so personal. And it's okay to be extra. And if you really want to have a cheesy, wheezy good time, go to Wacky Waka videos on YouTube. Thank you again for letting me be here.
So before we go to questions, which we're about to do, because we already had some that popped out into the chat. First of all, ladies, you were phenomenal. I told you you would be. Y'all know student engagement unlike anyone I know. So just, sharing your chat box, what a great job these ladies did, sharing their student engagement with you. So just want you to know, guys, don't leave us. You've got session choices for round 2 coming up. Strategic flexibility, empowering students, social and emotional learning, maintaining effective communication, podcasting, which I think is going to be awesome. And then this one right now, equity during the pandemic. We need this really, 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 this is very, very much appropriate right now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and then we're going to we've got some minutes for you to unmute yourself and share some questions or concerns. So someone asked about accessing the recording. You will have access to the recording in a couple of days. We'll wait for all of these to download, and then we will send every participant a recording of each session. Thank you for asking. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm gonna let these ladies take over. Miss Carol and Miss Walker will answer your questions.
Come on now. Don't be shy. Who wants to share their happy dance? Do you have a happy dance?
I'll share mine. Woo, woo!
Let me see the happy dance. There you go. Oh, come on, somebody do the roll.
So someone asked, Miss Carol, someone asked about your virtual escape rooms. Do you have any resources that you could offer? You could maybe drop them in the chat box or just share them with us.
Okay, so I would start with Teachers Pay Teacher to see what kind of virtual escape rooms they have out there, but they are not difficult to create, just extremely time consuming. So definitely something that you would want to do like during a break time or during summer time right now. So because you need to look at your content or whatever item you're wanting to put into escape room, and then you've got to determine what you want them to find out before you can create that chat room. For example, if you are doing enlightenment thinkers and you're wanting them to understand, I don't know, Henry David Thoreau's views on transcendentalism or whatever, you need to find out what particular quote you want them to pull together or find out first before you can then pull together that escape room, the clues to get them to that point. So, but I would start with, instead of starting out creating your own, I personally started with one on Teachers Pay Teacher before I became brave enough to actually start digging into developing that on my own. I hope that helps.
Any more questions for our presenters today?
I saw a question asking about the YouTube. So I just want to answer that one, how to make them. Seriously, I'm a grandma, okay? YouTube, I was not fluent with that, but my principal asked me to take my videos and make a YouTube channel. I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. But just Google. I am like the Google queen. I Googled, how do you make a a YouTube page? So that's what I did. I Googled it, found out how to do it. I made a YouTube page. And then honestly, I just take the videos on my phone. I don't edit. I give it one shot. That's it. Okay. And then I just take what I edit and I post it onto my YouTube. And it's like easy peasy. Now, if this grandma can do it, y'all can do it. And it's really inspiring. Now I'm actually putting students on my YouTube channel. Okay, so students themselves are making the videos and getting on there, and they just use my channel as an avenue. So it's kind of amazing way to encourage kids to read.
And so one of our participants asked, how do you motivate students who don't want to do a task?
Oh, I think, well, for me, students understand, and I think this is a high school level, student understands from the very beginning that participation is everything. Participation is a percentage of your success and your success in the class. But for me, I think what really helps them is some are more engaged when they are able to pick their partners or they are able to pick their groups. Not so much. I find that I had some resistance early on when I was picking them or spinning the wheel and allowing the wheel to pick. But once they got used to the fact that, you know, the more they worked together in the groups that they picked, the more opportunities they would have to work in those groups, they started to really participate and stay on task because they knew, saw that they did. Those groups were going to be picked.
And so Miss Carol makes such a valid point about the importance of choice in a classroom. If you really want to think about student engagement or how to increase student engagement, choice is so powerful. Assignment choice, group choices, anything that those students can feel like they have ownership or choice in immediately helps with student engagement. Ms. Walker, did you want to add anything? Let me see, I think I can unmute her.
Did you hear me?
But just the choice that they have 4 different types of paper to choose from makes all the difference in the world on how they write. So it's just engaging that relationship, understanding that Aiden's going to pick the index card and Cambria is going to pick the largest paper possible. Let them choose.
Miss Walker, I did not hear you. I don't think we heard you, Miss Walker.
Here's Miss Walker, and I went off on this tangent about choice and ownership and sharing interests and hobbies that I remembered. I thought, you're on mute. They didn't hear a word she said.
Muted me. You muted me. Okay, so I was saying that I allow my children to have lots of choices, as many as possible. For our writing assignment every morning, I give them choices of the type of paper they use. It's little, but it's huge to them. They can write on an index card or a huge piece of construction paper. That choice alone helps every one of them to write amazing stories. Choices.
And so, Miss, we have 2. We're honored to have 2 Miss Walkers in this group. And so, Miss Z, we missed part of what you said, but thank you for recapping that for us. And I think it's Karen Walker from App State. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Miss Walker, you are fine. We have yet to meet. This is the crazy world we live in, everybody. So Miss Walker is a fellow coach at Appalachian State, and we have yet to meet face to face, but we've met several times virtually, and she's already I love her. She's already in my heart because she's.
Oh my goodness, you're such a sweet soul.
But please share what you wanted to share with the group.
I was just you kind of illuminating what Miss Walker said, that choice is so important, that it gives the kids ownership of what they're doing. Like she said, an index card or a piece of paper. Is it pink paper or purple paper? Is it college ruled or wide ruled? But it gives them ownership. I own this. I made this decision. And it gives the kids an opportunity to share interests sometimes, or hobbies that you had no idea that this kid. I had a kid who was a master chess player. Now this is a flannel shirt, ride a tractor and plow a field country boy. When I found out he was a master chess player, you could have blown me over with a feather. And he starts teaching other kids at school how to play chess. And it all came from, I want you to take and have your interest and share it with us. So I just think that's so important, Miss Walker, Miss Carol, to give them choice. And thank you for letting me put my 2 cents in.
It's an amazing 2 cents that you put in. Any more questions? We have all of these expertise folks with us, experts. Any more questions that we can answer? Some person said that, I definitely think my students in my art room work harder when they have agency over their projects. Choice and being open to negotiation works wonders. Michelle, that is so true. We need to tweet that out, actually. That's awesome. You summed that up powerfully, yes.
I just wanted to add to that. Can you guys hear me? So,
yes, we can.
I'm a new teacher, but I definitely, in my student teaching experience, find that when, if a student is not engaged in the project, I always let my students know that I'm open for them to approach if they want to change the project in any way, and we can come together and cooperate on how to change the project in a way that makes them excited about the project, but also meets the standards that I need them to meet. It's like whether we're doing, clay, or they decide they hate clay. It's like, well, you need to learn how to use clay, but maybe we can make some adjustments to the lesson, and that it just reinforces the point of agency and negotiation. It becomes theirs. It becomes something that they're excited about doing, and I've seen great results come out of that.
And thank you, Michelle. And I will say, I've been in this profession for 22 years, and when I first started teaching, the advice I got was control everything in your classroom and don't smile until Christmas. What bogus advice. I wish I could go back to Denise all those years, 22 years ago, and say, girl, don't do that. Build relationships. Ask your students what they want to do. That's where the power is at, in those relationship building, having active exercises for them to do. Miss Carol getting her students out of her seat, I would have never done that. Like when I walk in her classroom, I'm like, I wish I would have been this way 22 years ago. But I was so caught up in controlling everything. I just wish I would have enjoyed myself. And maybe I could have made some wacky Denise videos, Miss Walker, and you would have had you would have had some competition on your hands in the YouTube world. Any more questions or concerns or any insight that you want to offer into this session, guys?
Hey, so this is Chase Morgan. I teach 2nd and 3rd grade, and I just finished my 6th year teaching. And one thing that I would like to share too is I very much believe in the power of freedom for students, and it can go beyond just classroom activities. So one thing that I do for my students that has really empowered them is I give them daily choice in virtually everything that we do, down to their seating. So I've completely given up assigned seats. Every single day they get to come in and choose where they sit for the day with whoever they want to sit with for the day. And, even other smaller aspects, in elementary school, there's always like a snack time. I don't have a snack time. You bring snacks, and whenever you feel hungry, you eat because you're in control of your body. You know when you're hungry. That's not going to be determined by me. You have the freedom to choose that aspect of your day. And I think whenever any sort of freedom, any sort of choice, however small, is very impactful to the students. Then what Ms. Carol was saying, the action-based learning is really also my passion. And I do that with my little kids as well. Like I said, second and third grade, even to the point of like sight words. We learn sight words through exercises. We do sight words through jumping jacks. And I teach my kids how to do yoga. We're on our exercises doing read alouds to yoga. And you know, it really gets them engaged while activating the brain, because you don't learn if you're sedentary. So that action is super important. So I really agreed with both of you on those points.
And that's awesome. And what a way, I love that, Chase. Thank you. I mean, that really even opened my mind up. I didn't really think about outside of academia, there are other choices they can make. And Michelle makes a valid point that if you're trying to raise independent and functional adults, we need to teach them how to make their own choices. Man, I ended up with the smartest group out there.
Yes.
Awesome. So it's 10:17 now, and I'm going to close us out and stop our recording. Please make other session choices, if you will. I showed you a brief look at that. Take a few minutes and tweet something out if you want to. This was a great session. Miss Carol and Miss Walker, you are phenomenal and you rock every single day. I love the both of you and can't wait to see you in person.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.